Good morning, everyone. I'm Selena. Today, I will talk about the topic, the effects of mobile phone on our health. In this presentation, I will separate into three parts. First, I will share the journals support the theory that mobile phone risk to our health. Then, the journal found that there's no relationship between the health events and the mobile phone. Finally, I will end with the WHO research. For the news and article, we usually heard that using mobile phone is risky. If it really impacts to our health, it will affect so many people, including us. But the picture of the induction effects by mobile phone is unclear because of the different research in different fields. And I have selected 5 articles. Let's look at that. It is an animal experiment which aims to determine whether long-term exposure to the RF field increases the risk of the brain tumor in transgenic mice. And they found that the risk is significantly higher in the exposed mice than in the control. Actually, the mice are modified to become highly sensitive to the carcinogenic influence. Some may argue that this does not impact to the humans because there is a differences between the mice and humans in absorbing RF field. We need more investigations on humans. However, in many cases, mice are the excellent substitutes for the humans in experiments, so it's equally important to note that. Further aspects on cellular and callus phone and brain tumor. Investigate the relationship between brain tumor and the cellular and callus phone. It found that the risk of the same size user was increased for the brain tumor for all study phone types. And there was a tendency of the short tumor induction period. It is a small case control study. About 3,000 people are involved. And this report had mentioned a number of journals to support his finding, but most of them are done by the same party. Assessing the tumor, recall bias and the observational bias are the possible error. Then I will talk about the journal that does not support their hypothesis. Long-term mobile phone use and brain tumor risk. Investigate the relationship between using long-term mobile phone and the risk of the brain tumor. But in this report, the risk has no significant rise. Actually, this report is based on the previous study. They are using the same method, case control study, but this time is a large scale, about 3.7 million people involved in the same geographical regions. But the duration of the report is short because they believe that there will be a possibility of a short induction period. Long participation and recall bias are the potential error. Another study, cellular telephone use and the brain tumor, proved the hypothesis that handsets might cause brain tumor or accelerate the growth of tumor. Actually, they have done a research in 1993, and they find that there is possibility of the link between the mobile phone and the brain tumor. But in this report, the data does not support the hypothesis. But in this report, there is several limitations. They are not sufficient to evaluate the risk amongst the long-term heavy user and for potentially long induction periods. Also, cellular phone is less common among the people higher than 17 years old. There may be misclassification. Again, assessing the risk is a possible error. Independent expert group on mobile phone has summarized the previous research about the mobile phone and health. They conclude that there is no persuasive evidence that exposure to the RF radiations cause cancer. However, there is a very limitation to give a reassurance that there is no hazard. Also, there is a report symptoms such as the tired and the headaches. Thus it is unclear to what extent these symptoms are related to the RF radiation. Now I will show you a video about the mobile phone risk.
Whether it be microwaves, satellite dishes, Wi-Fi terminals, and in particular mobile phones, these objects are everywhere. On animals as on volunteers, the scientists are trying to find out if overexposure to electromagnetic waves has an impact on the functions of the human brain, ears, or hormones. The results, there are punctual effects, but they don't resist time. We can now say that when we study the volunteers, we can see changes in the punctual encephalograms. We can also see changes in reaction time, which are transitory. But when we look at the long-term effects with repeated exposure, day in, day out, we can see that compared to normal physiological function, there are no cumulative effects or long-lasting effects. Other necessary data, knowing precisely the human exposure levels, and up until now, no epidemiological study revealed a toxic exposure level for humans, so why continue looking? We're not closing this debate because it's impossible to guarantee or show the absence of risk. There is a background rumbling of pathologies. There always is a number of natural and spontaneous pathologies that develop. The exposure to radio frequencies is practically everywhere, and it's not possible to show that it isn't the mobile phone that's at the root of this pathology. So, scientific studies continue. A study headed by the World Health Organization and based on more than 9,000 cases of brain tumors will be published.
In conclusion, the type of the exposure investigate have a vary between the study, and they are not identical to those that associated with the mobile phone technology. Also, many studies have no statistical power, and many have suffered from the methodological events. Therefore, we need more research. And here is the reference. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you. And it's a Q&A session.
You said you need to have further research in which aspect?
We know that the mobile phone has become a 3G GPRS. That's the previous study have not mentioned that. I want to do more research on the updated technology of the mobile phone that affects our health. Any question? If there is no questions, I will end with my presentation. You can ask me in the after my presentation. Thank you.